would you like a movie like this to go, or where do you see it going, or how would you like to be involved?
I don't know how to do this, but what I learned in the process of my client ways to be a bit one. I needed a space of safety where I could
Good morning, good morning. I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with your system. Good morning. It is Thursday, and I am here. I am available. Well, I'm not available, but I'm here.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh. What the heck was wrong? I don't know.
I don't know what you was doing. You had some stuff going on with you. Why you look like you busy? You like you busy? Booked and busy. You look like you booked and busy.
Booked and busy, busy and booked.
Good morning, guys. I hope your week went good this week.
I hope so too, guys.
I don't know what you get on my nerves. I don't know what to say about my week. My week, it was I'm gonna give it an Yeah, let me think about it again. Let me come back.
What I was about to say. So this week I had started my plan that I was gonna do. I started working out with Indira.
Good job, Indira, for getting her in there.
We've been working out. We worked out 2 days this week, but baby, my body is sore. Honey, these legs hurt, this back hurt.
You're going to feel better next week, though.
Hopefully. I'm in pain.
Next week, you're going to feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully so.
Good job, Indira, for getting her up there and getting her little self work. Work it out. Listen, it's for your health. Listen, it's for your health. It's for your health. Well, since we had this talk about
putting that work in. Mm-hmm.
Since we had to talk about, working out and, doing better, I'm going to just inform y'all, I have not did anything.
We know. We know. What's the shocker there? What's the shocker there?
I have not started anything. I have not did anything. I'm just going to let y'all know. Yeah, I am proud of her too. I am very proud that she got up. And she is no longer being a procrastinator, but she is being a motivator.
Being motivated.
Y'all, I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. I'm up. I didn't even ate breakfast, y'all. I ran to the store, to this mom and pop shop they got down the street to get me a breakfast sandwich. I have not ate yet. So I don't know why.
The breakfast sandwich if you ain't gonna eat it.
Because I was trying to get dressed. I told you I woke up late. I was like, oh, we got a show. Let me get up. But I was in a good dream. I was having a good dream. I was in a dream. I can't talk about my dream because I don't know who watching. But yeah, I was in a good. I was asleep beside David when I had my dream. But it was one of those good dreams. One of those dreams you don't want to wake up out of. One of those dreams you feel like, oh, what's going to happen next? So I woke up late. No.
I'm sorry.
So I woke up late and I ran down there to get my breakfast sandwich. I didn't have time to make my coffee. So y'all, I don't know what has me stirred today. Like I feel like I'm on a train. Like let's go. But I'm probably gonna wind down mid-show, and y'all probably gonna look back like, what's wrong with KD? Why she done wind down and she just sitting in the background? Because I'm probably back asleep, but with my eyes open.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Do we have some hot topics today? Do we have some hot topics? I don't
I
think I
had
have
a
a hot
hot
topic.
topic. Darn it, I can't remember what the hot topic was. Oh,
I don't think
hmm.
I have a
I
hot
remember
topic for today.
one hot topic I had was, so you know how when you go out to clubs now, you have bottle girls, you have hookah girls, you have your own waitresses now in the club.
Right.
So a DJ had posted like, hookah girls and bottle girls and waitresses think that, they're supposed to get a tip. You know, he put the definition of a
I
tip
don't
or
think so.
gratuity up there. But okay, my question was, if you go to a club or if you go to a restaurant and you see that there's gratuity already on the check, do you still tip on top of your gratuity? And if you're tipping, are you tipping based upon the service that the person gave you, or why? What is your basis for tipping? If you tip, and what is your basis for tipping if you see gratuity on the check? Do you tip? Hell no, you don't tip if you see gratuity on the check, man. Why not?
But
I
do the
had this
battle
conversation the
girls
other day.
but do the battle girls get part of that gratuity? Or do you tip them
Um,
separately?
we just hypothetically speaking, we're gonna say yes. I'm gonna assume yes. I do believe that they get some type of gratuity off of it. I do believe some places do offer. I don't know any bottle girls myself. I don't know, but
Yeah, because
I'm
my
gonna
sister
assume
used
yes.
to be my sister was a battle girl. One of my sisters in New York was actually a battle girl and slash club promoter. And I think that's where she made her money at, being a battle girl, for because of my father's status. Of course, she used his name a lot. And so she was around a lot of, especially in New York. In New York, in those clubs, you're gonna be around us a lot of celebrities, a lot of artists. I'm not gonna say celebrities, but a lot of artists, which I noticed on her Instagram. She was around a lot of artists.
But
So I think that's what she based like her living around, getting those tips, especially from those famous artists and stuff like that.
a lot of these artists and a lot of these celebrities do not tip. I was listening
Because
to a
you got to
TikTok
think
where this
about it.
girl. I was
Because the
listening to
other
a
thing,
TikTok
go ahead.
I was listening to a TikTok where this girl was saying how she was working at a bar at this particular restaurant in Atlanta, and one night, it was kind of slow, so she was like the mid-shift bartender, and she was leaving, and upon leaving her shift, she was, doing like the stuff that you have to do. So um she was on her way out the door. It was time for her to get off her shift.
Mm-hmm.
T.I. and his family came in. And when, the original server went over to the table,
They
he
always
asked for the
extra.
manager. And he told the manager, like, hey, look, I don't want a man serving my family. So her being the only
He
female in the
always extra
restaurant at the
anyway. I knew you
time,
was gonna say something about that because he always extra.
her being the only female waitress in the restaurant at the time, she had to be his server basically. And
What's the difference?
I don't know. Anyway,
He
push come to shove,
extra.
she said she gave them exceptional service. She was really nice. When it came time to pay the bill, he didn't have all the money. She said he pulls out this wad of money. He didn't have all the money to cover the bill. Then when she brought it back, like, hey, this wasn't enough, he pulled out the wad of money again and gave her the money, the exact amount for the bill. No tip, nothing. He left her nothing. And she was kind of upset about that because she was like, she had to stay 2 hours over her shift. She had to do
I
all
wouldn't
this
have did
extra
it.
stuff, and she did
My
not
shift
get
over. Bye.
so my question is, when you see those type of things, I want people to stop assuming that because they see a celebrity and because this person has millions of dollars to think that they're different. They're not different. They're human just like anybody else. They're not required to tip you. The idea is that, they're going to leave you a good tip. Now, granted, they might not leave you $1,000. They might not even leave you $20. But the thought that you're going to get a decent tip is what people think. However, a lot of people
No.
got to understand
In her
that these people
situation,
don't.
I understand that because she stayed past her shift. I would have left.
Jerome, I know you don't tip. I know you don't tip.
She would have stayed. She stayed past her shift. somebody gonna tip me if I was ready to go home.
That's my thing. I was talking to my friend Tamika yesterday about this whole situation. Not about the TI situation, but about the bottle girls and the hookah girls. I try to tip them if they have exceptional service. They have good service. You don't have to be exceptional, but be good. Because I understand that when you're in a club atmosphere, you have different tables you have to wait on. And one thing about it, like this one club we go to is DDL. I will never buy another hookah from DDL because when these people do these hookah things, I feel like you charging me $5 for a coal is ridiculous. Because this is something that I need to operate the machine with. Like, this is something I need to operate my hookah with. So why are you charging me $5 for a coal? Now, I get it if I want extra flavor. I understand that. But coals should be free. Coals should be, especially y'all are charging $50 to $60 to buy a hookah in these places. Hookahs are not that expensive. I go to another club right on Fayette Street.
They order them on Amazon.
Exactly. And then on top of that, y'all not even cleaning them properly. Y'all not even doing what y'all gotta do to keep the maintenance up on them properly. Like, people are getting herpes. I heard this from another TikToker. You know, people are getting herpes because y'all are not cleaning these hookahs after every event. Y'all are not cleaning them. Y'all just probably going home and washing them out and keeping it pushing. That's not. Most of the time, people give money. Yeah. You I don't know, Gerard, you tip sometimes, but you don't. I tip, period. Even if I didn't get good service, I'm gonna leave you a little something.
I'm not.
If you don't have to have a little percentage.
No.
I might give you the lowest percentage, but I'm gonna leave you something.
Not if you a bad waiter. No, I disagree. If you are a bad waiter, if you ignored the hell out of me and you went to the other table that came after me, I give you no tip. You came after me. And I've been sitting there and I got a whole family, especially if I got my kids, and my kids are hungry. Kids are hungry. They do not sit there for an extended amount of time. And I done seen you walk past me, walk away, take the next person that came in after me. I don't know how that works, but I've seen that several times. I don't want to be racist. I don't want to bring race into it, but that's usually when I see it. When I'm going to a Denny's or somewhere like that, and you see an old white couple that come in there after a group of black people or a group of Mexican people, they go to the old white couple table first, even though them people been sitting there. I've seen it multiple times. I don't want to bring race into it, but I've seen it multiple times. You not about to sit me down and then I see you go over to the table of the old man just because he need to eat because his diabetes is low. I don't give a damn about his diabetes. My kids is hungry. If they don't eat, they gonna jump around. Give me my food.
I don't know. I mean, me personally, I think that tipping it should be a standard. And I get it. Everybody don't tip. Everybody don't deserve a tip. But tipping should be a standard. Because even if you feel like they gave you bad service, on the receipt, it shows you how much each percentage would be. If they had bad service, I'm going to give them the lowest percentage on the check. I'm going to still leave them something, but they're going to get that low percentage because you didn't do a good job. You don't have to always give the amount that is required, or whatever. But I believe
if they messed up everything in your order, they didn't had you come back. They didn't had to come back. They done messed up your entire order to send you some half.
You gotta understand that it's probably not them, but you have to understand it's probably not them.
They messed up your order. Ask them for the receipt to see what they wrote down.
It's probably not them because they could have wrote down what they wrote down, and then some people are like, "Oh, in the bag they want cook, but they want cook." And they'll say, "Yep, it's like sharing their genital. Please be careful with reusable hookahs." Yeah, one of the club that I do, like they do have those brand new hookahs. They show you when they bring you your hookah out, they bring out your holes and they open it up in front of you to let you know, like, hey, this is a brand new one. And every time you're done with it, they tell you to throw it away. They tell you to throw your holes in the trash. I like that. Because holes ain't nothing but $1. You can go buy $1 hose from anybody.
That's true, Gerard. They just BS on their service. No, you know what I think? It's not that they BS on their service, Gerard. I think that sometimes those servers, they look at certain people that come in there and they just have an assumption of who's going to tip, and they look at certain people like, oh, I know they ain't going to tip. I'm going to just do what I want.
I think we all do that.
That's what it is.
I think we all do that. We all
I think that's what it is. I think they feel like,
I don't like when I'm on a date, and this is why I make sure I carry at least a little bit amount of cash with me when I'm on a date. And if the guy is offering to pay, I will put the tip out there. I'll be like, look, let me leave the tip because I feel like I'm going to tip regardless. Most guys, if they see gratuity on a check, they be like, no, I ain't tipping. You already got gratuity. I feel like let me pay for it. If you're going to pay for the food, let me leave the tip. That's what I try to say most of the time. Let me leave the tip because I don't want to not tip. That's right, Gerard. It be the cooks that's messing up the orders, not the servers. It's the cooks.
They just overwork.
It is really the cooks, but we take it out on the servers. We take it out on the servers because they're the ones that are in our face and they're the ones who took our order. So we automatically be assuming in our minds that, oh, you were there and cooked my food. When totally it's the cooks who did not do what you requested. It's not that person's fault. And there's no way that they can be like, oh, let me check and make sure your steak is medium well. They can't do that. They can only assume that if I put medium well, that you went and got me a medium well steak.
I'm going to say the cooks is overworked.
I'm going to say the cooks are not overworked. I'm going to say the cooks are stupid sometimes. I do not work in that industry, but I support them too. I don't work in the industry either, Val, but I totally support people who work in the restaurant industry. They are a different breed of people. They are.
Yeah, I'm not a non-tipper. I'm not a non-tipper. I'm not a non-tipper. I learned that from my father. My father, so many times I went out with my father, and when I watched him,
you gotta be clear about which father, baby. You got 8 of them. You got 8 daddies. I need you to be clear about which daddy.
My biological father. I've never went on a dinner meal with my biological father. You know my father, Randall. Randall is the one who always took us out to eat, who always picked the kids up on the weekends, all us up, and we went out to some really nice restaurants. And that's where I learned, that you're supposed to tip. I learned that from him because that man is one of those men that drop a wad on the tip. He actually tipped a waiter one day to show Jessica how to use chopsticks.
My uncle is like that.
On top of the waiter.
Manager real quick.
On top of the tip. He tipped her extra to show Jessica how to use chopsticks on top of the tip. Because she wanted to use. Jessica was only like 5 then. She was only 5. Who cares? She still don't know how to use chopsticks.
Oh, that was cute.
But that man drops a wad of money. He's one of those big tippers for some reason. I've always seen that in my father. My father has always been a big tipper. So I do know that you are supposed to tip, but I'm sorry. I'm just not if you messed up my whole meal. You got me waiting. I can't. If you got me sitting there waiting, no.
You right. They offer service and not for payroll, but you got to understand also that these waitresses and these waiters are getting like $4 an hour. Like, they're not getting that much money an hour.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah.
$13 an hour. They're making the bare minimum. And I get it. That's the job that they chose. However, I do understand that sometimes we all have bad days. We all have horrible days. So it's not like, if you constantly say it's just a restaurant in particular that you constantly go to. Like, okay, one for me, when me and Nikki used to go to TGI Fridays, it was a certain bartender who was always, he had good days and he had bad days. He had more good days than bad days. And so when we knew when his bad days were, we didn't take that out on him. We still gave him what he deserved. Service be feeling sometimes way because a lot of people don't tip service. Then came to me crying about tips because how they get their money, and cooks are not overworked. They be bullshitting. They be out back smoking, doing all types of shit. And Gerard noticed because Gerard used to do it. We're gonna continue letting the restaurant scam us. Yeah, and I feel like it's a scam. Yeah, it is a scam. It's a big scam. Yeah, but service be crying because it do be sometimes the cooks messing up their order. The cooks be like, sometimes it do be the cooks messing up the orders. The cooks be out back there like they don't care. They really don't care because they're not getting tips. And sometimes these cooks be the highest paid. Good morning, Ty. Sometimes these cooks be higher paid or the highest paid people in there. Besides the general managers and stuff like that, the cooks are really higher paid. The cooks get that money. Don't get me wrong. I would ask for a refund if the service garbage and my server don't care. Yeah, I don't know about a refund, but I'll be like, look, I don't really complain when I go to restaurants. I really try not to because I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, because you don't want them to be your food. That's one thing.
I don't want to be that person. But if there's something wrong with my food and I didn't ask you, I'll just
if it's a drink
to the waiter. Like,
look, if it's a drink, the food.
If it's a drink, I'm
If it's
complaining.
a drink,
Period.
I'm sending it back because
Period.
I'm just not going to drink it. I can't sit there and pretend it's good if it's not. I want you to give me something different. I'm not going to sit there because at the end of the day, it's my money that I'm paying for my drink. So I'm sitting there wasting my money on a drink that I don't even like. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to send my drink back. I'm definitely going to do that.
He said, and that's where we get it from, my Aunt Val. Don't get me wrong, I would. Aunt Val, oh God, if I go to the location to get it right and the egg sauce with the service tip in that, yeah, and tip
That's
that
true.
person, and I'm gonna
That's
tip
true.
that person. My thing is, I just don't like when we don't tip because that's already the notion behind Black people.
That's
We
what I'm
already got
saying.
that
That's what I
negative.
think.
We
And
already
I
got
think
that
that's how
negative
service look at it. I
behind
think
that
that's
you
how
don't
service
tip.
look at us coming in. I think that's how they look at us coming in. They automatically assume
Yeah.
they ain't going to tip. They
And
not
don't
going
let
to.
it be a big
Don't
party.
assume
Don't let
that.
it be a big party. Don't let it be a big party because I already know it's gonna be some ghetto drama. It's gonna be some mess. I will not ask for a different meal if my experience is awful. I will not. No. I can't really say I've had too many awful experiences. I've had some bad ones, but I haven't had anything that's like super like, oh
Yeah, not
hell
super
no,
good.
I'm about to go off.
Okay,
You know,
I have one. Okay, so I was just thinking about this when you was talking. So you was talking about I'm gonna just tip you the bare minimum. What if two servers come at your table and they arguing and get ready to fight in front of you over the
oh no,
table?
see that's I'm leaving.
Over your
I'm leaving.
table.
Oh no,
That's
you're
what
not gonna got a
happened
baby. I'm getting
to that's what happened to my friends Jay and Kia. They went to
Ty said, I know if my food is bad, I'm speaking. I don't want to speak up too, Ty. I'm just not going to be like, I want them on the, I'm not going to be all rah with it. I'm going to be like, hey, I didn't really ask for this, but I'll eat it, but I didn't ask for it. I'll let them know. Like,
no, because at the end of the day, it don't, you paying for that meal. You work for the money that you paying for that meal with. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You came for what you wanted. You came for what you wanted. Why
All this
can't you
talking
get
about
what
food,
you
we
want?
hungry.
I know, right? I'm thinking about my sandwich. I'm sitting there
I'm
like,
not. I'm thinking
can we
about
look. Like, can we take a 5? I need a break. But no, like that's what happened to my friend Kia and Jay. They went to a restaurant up there off of Pulaski Highway. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but both servers came to the table, and I guess their table was somewhere in the middle, and the servers got confused about who table or who section it was. And they were standing there in front of them like, no, you're not taking my table. Yeah, this is my table. I'm taking this table. And then the other server, like, if you don't get your and she said they started cursing and everything. Like, if you don't get your ass away from my table. Yeah, no, I'm not sitting there. They said they sat there and ate. The food was good. So they did get good food. But that was very uncomfortable. Like, a manager or something should have came over there and said, both of y'all need to go step away. Something. The manager, they said the manager was just standing at the front where they always stand. The manager always stand right there where you check, where you pay sometimes. The manager just stood right there while they arguing. And she said they was arguing loud enough where people in the restaurant started turning around, but the manager just stood right there.
The
And they
first
thought they was
and the
going to fight.
last restaurant that I ever worked at was Applebee's up Mondale.
You worked at
Applebee's
Applebee's?
up.
Oh, yeah, you
I
did
used to
work
work
at
at Applebee's
Applebee's.
up the plaza.
Yeah,
That was
you
my
did.
first and my last restaurant, honey. I worked there for every bit about, how long was I at Applebee's? I think about 2 years, maybe. I was there for a while. And it was kind of one of my favorite jobs. However,
Yeah,
that was my first and my last. That was my
I
first and
remember
my
you
last.
called me excited. Who did you meet? Deion Sanders, and he got on your nerves or something?
Deion Sanders. Oh, Deion Sanders was really nice. He was really nice. This is when he played for the Ravens. He was extremely nice. I met Trey Songz before he blew up. He was really nice too. I met quite a few people. I met I think like Ray Lewis came up there. A few celebrities came up there. They were really nice. They were really cool. I love to eat my Imperial crab. If it has veggies in it, I would be upset. Yeah, I can. I stand Imperial crab, no vegetables in it. Or you know what I don't like? When my crab cake, Crystal overtook. I do overtake. Gerard be so mad. When me and Gerard used to go on dates and stuff, and I used to be like, I'm leaving this tip. He'd be like, why'd you leave them all that money? Because I have a heart for people when I'm in, like, I have a heart for those people because I've been there before and I know what it's like. So I don't like to, allegedly, I don't like to compensate. I don't like to not compensate people for what I believe they deserve. Like I said, I'm going to leave a tip, even if the service is bad. I'm going to leave a tip. However, that tip might not be so generous that you might hit.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But let's go ahead and talk about breaking the cycle, because that's something that we need to do on breaking the cycle as Black people. We need to stop not tipping. Let's break
It's not all Black people. I was taught
community.
the tip. I was brought up the tip, so it's not all Black people. I was brought up the tip, so it's not all Black people. I just do what I want now that I'm older. Yeah, so I came up with the topic breaking the cycle. Okay, so here's what happened. Of course, you know, me and BlackRoses, we always on Instagram, TikTok, looking at stuff. And it was this video, and it's an old video because I've seen it before. I saw the video before, so it's a really old video. But it came back around. It surfaced back around somehow. I don't know how. But so it was a video, and y'all might know, where the mother and the daughter, it was a Chicago mother and daughter, and they were in the house. And I guess the mother had just came home from work. The daughter was like 20. She had a kid. And she lost her place, so she moved back in with her mother. And I think the mother had just got off of work, and she came in the house, and they started arguing because the daughter, the 20-year-old daughter, was letting the baby, her son, run around during the day while the mother was at work, tearing up the house, leaving food, bags of chips all over the floor, everything. So I don't even know how they end up going live, but it came in the middle. But the issue with me was the way that they were talking to each other. Like, they weren't talking to each other like mother and daughter. They were talking to each other like two women, or two strange, not even two women, two strange girls on the street. They were going at it like, be this and be that, and you a trifling B. This is the mother talking to the daughter. You a dirty trifling B. You don't never take care of your kids. And then on top of that, not only was she saying that about the daughter, she was talking about her own grandson. She was saying, yeah, you're trifling ass son, which is your grandson. So you calling your 1 or 2 year old grandson trifling. Like, he don't know no better because his mother is raising him. But what really, really bothered me and became so heart-wrenching about the situation is, one, they actually got into a physical altercation where they was fist fighting. Two, while they are still arguing, the baby is in the middle screaming and crying because he wants them to stop. So yeah, let's talk about that. But let's introduce our guest today. We have our guest, Troy Burton.
We have our guest from the upcoming play, You Thought I Was Him, right?
Yes.
You Thought I Was Him. We have the director of the play, Mr. Troy Burton, and we have one of my favorite people, PJ.
And he's an actor.
Hi.
Actor, musician. Hey, Crystal.
Okay.
I was
Hello, good
backstage
morning.
listening to you talk about Rudy.
One of my favorite
I was
Good
talking
morning,
and say, yeah, that
guys.
sounds like Gerard.
Good morning.
Oh yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
I'm pretty good. You know, just making stuff happen.
I want to know,
Awesome.
how do you feel? How do you guys feel so far about the play? Tell us how you feel about the play.
It's coming up.
Go ahead, PJ.
Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna tell you this now. Is when I got introduced to it and everything, I just was like, oh snap.
Okay.
The artist in me, you're putting the artist in me to actual work. But as it developed and, you know, being in the scene, you know, I used to be able to disguise my little nuance of rhythm, and now he's making me put it up on stage. So I was like, all right. And so it's such an exciting moment. It's an honor. I'm just excited for people to see it because we about to show out and on purpose. So y'all in for a show, and you be having us in there sweating. And every time I turn around, Here. Matter of fact, nope, switch it. We're here. I'm like, you know what? It took me a week to figure out that I
Nice.
was gonna be here, and then it's just letting you know, it's just getting you ready for how things just change at that moment, and to
At that
feel it, and
moment,
to and for the most part, he always debriefs us on, the us and the character fusing together, and just, being that character, and really understanding what that character represents for each individual, and brings it meaning, and it brings it purpose, and it really brings an emotional aspect, and a duty of service to the people who watch it. So it's really, it's intense, and it is a pivotal moment in my life, for the opportunity that was allotted to me, thanks to Mr. Troy Burton, and his collaboration with the arena players, to bring this all together. And it's crazy because Crystal actually kind of like one of the ones that planted that seed for stage years ago. If you remember, just, so it was no shock. I said, "Oh snap, we about to be on it with Crystal." I said, "Oh again." I said, "She out here acting."
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope I
Well, I want to
didn't
jump in there real
say
quick
too
and
much.
also just
Go
make
ahead.
a
Go
quick
ahead.
disclaimer about the production. You thought I was him. It's actually not a play. It's not a musical. I'm calling it something different for the theater. It's a theatrical mixtape.
Oh, I
And
like that. I
and
like
it's a
that.
theatrical mixtape performed live on stage. They are scenes, um, and we call them they're tracks with vocals, and we do tell a story, but it's something different. It's actually us doing our own thing as African American men, telling our stories the way we want to tell them, and not following the rules, the European style of doing theater. It's us. It's
Okay.
black men saying, "Hey, this is how we want to do theater. This is how we want to tell our stories." So we're just taking ownership of that. So it is a
Nice.
theatrical mixtape.
I love it. I love it. So tell us, how did you come up with this play? Where did you thought I was him? Where did that come from?
Well, originally, I've been doing a lot of theater here in Baltimore for years, and I worked with a community theater, Arena Players. And so a group of young men who were graduates of the program came to me and wanted to do a play. So we developed a play, and we developed a piece called A Real Nigga Show. It was all based on the word nigger.
I like that.
And this was before, like you got the Broadway show Thoughts of a Colored Man and some of the other plays where they were paying respect to Intisaki Shange as a playwright for the piece for Colored Girls. And it was later made
Oh,
by
okay.
Tyler Perry into a
Yeah.
movie. But
Yeah.
back in 2003, we did a piece called A Real Nigga Show. And it really, it took off, and it ran from the year 2003 to 2020, actually at the pandemic. And it was very thought provoking, very in your face, very bold. We knew it would never go to Broadway or anything like that because, and it would be grassroots because of the word nigger. And what we did
Right.
was we broke this word down, and we showed you it as a term of endearment, but also as a word that how people use it against us. So we gave it balance. And in that piece was a piece called Hoodie that was based on Trayvon Martin. And
Wow.
the character in the piece was Kevin Alexander Brown. And that was like a 2-3 minute piece. So I got approached by another young man who's no longer with us. He said, "Burton, when you going to do something for the next generation?" And I said, "Okay." And as soon as we finished doing the live stream of A Real Nigga Show, because we did it during the August 2020 during the pandemic, we said we're going to still keep live theater going. And so we actually put that piece together as a live stream, and we premiered it ourselves. I produced it right out of my own pocket, and it was shown all over the world. I was surprised when people were watching from Japan and from London and up in the Bronx and on the West Coast, and so
Wow,
we
that's
said
amazing.
we're going to continue this thought, about owning our own ass in terms of producing theater how we feel it should be, and not having to follow the rules of the European way of doing theater. So
Nice.
so we said, I made a commitment to say there will be another version of this production, not not a sequel, but more like a spinoff. So we spin off that one character and we created a whole play, well, not a play, a theatrical mixtape of his world, of who he is, his family, and things of that nature. And that's where this story came to life.
Mm.
Okay.
So, how many productions have you done?
Actually, I'm an old guy here. I'm
A
55
billion.
years old. Um,
A billion.
this will make show 55 that I've
Ooh.
directed at arena players. I've been
Ooh,
on
Oh,
my grind,
nice.
but I've directed more than that. That's just at that one particular theater. So I think
Hmm.
I'm probably up to like 70 something productions that I've
mm,
directed in my life.
So, what made you
okay.
want to get into directing? Where did it start? Tell us where it started at.
Well, I mean, as a kid, in your family, you just get up and you do stuff. But then, going to school and studying music, and one I was hired as a music teacher for a program at Arena Players, the youth theater. But the director there, she said, Troy, you're always making suggestions, and so you got ideas. So why don't you go in there and direct this play for us? And
Mm.
I kind of stumbled onto it, and I picked up the script, and then visions start coming to life, and I just started putting them on stage and using my God-given talents that I have to because I've never studied theater formally. It's just that it's my gut feeling. I trust my gut feeling.
Right.
Okay. Now my question is for PJ. What is your character's name, and how do you feel like you embody your character? Like, what similar characteristics do you think you guys have in common?
Well, my character's name is Martique Smith, aka
Okay.
Teakwood. Um, and just by his story, lover of music, sees the world through music as I have for since my upbringing. Music was that voice that back,
Mhm.
especially days before cell phones and all that.
Right.
They told stories. They told stories of listening to Nas and stuff like that, and then listening to Eminem and being as animated as he is, because I'm a cartoon geek. So just what pulled me into the music and the craft and the skill, that what it was. And just like with Martique being a DJ, I'm my friends, my close friends being DJs, MCs, me being an artist as well, a hip hop artist as well. It it was just we were already, it was like we were the same person. In a sense, we were the same person,
Mhm.
same sort of struggles and questions, and just about the community. And just being that person thrust into your modern day sphere of everything that's going on, all the allures that comes with it, but also having that conviction of what your people are going through, and just and having a certain dignity that says, you know what, I ain't going for this, but I'm still seeing it through music. So how is the music that I support, that I promote, that I create, serve the people, um, and the people around me. So, and how
Okay.
I inspire them. So our characters are just one, and we're full of energy, full of creativity, full of imagination and vision, and we, you know, ain't nothing going to stop us. We just keeping it going, and
I
I
love
like
it.
that.
I love it. Me too.
I like that.
Um, so the production of this play is a soulful discovery of healing for a group of African American men in one family. The storytelling is presented through poetry, monologues, and movement that will provide the balance of entertainment and mental health awareness for Black men. With that being said, what is your take on having those outlets for Black men who are suffering from mental health issues and don't want to kind of like feel like it's a taboo to speak up about it or to get help?
Hmm.
This can come from either one of you guys. What are your thoughts on that, and how, and what are ways that Black men can encompass being able to deal with their mental health issues?
Okay, let
well,
me just jump in there real quick.
yeah.
The piece was developed by community conversations with Black men. So I've been
Mm.
working on this project for over a year. So it started with inviting a group of Black men to meet and to actually sit at the table and talk about life, talk about mental health. And it was very an emotional setting in terms of having these men come to the table. They range from ages 16 up to 76 to get them to the table talking. And one of the things that I saw in the community conversations were that this whole thing of your generation versus my generation and things like that, and how we can, we see some of the same similarities, but at the same time understanding each other. Because the first community conversation we had, it was more so like ages 76 down to mid 30s. And then the second one we had some younger people in there, and we saw the same things happening where the first one was more like, okay, it's time for you all to pass the torch, and this is what we're doing. But when it was time for the young people to come in, the 30-something-year-olds, they found themselves as the elders, and describing what they go through life and how they deal with life. And it was just amazing because that started the dialogue. It shaped the characters. Everything that we talk about, each character, PJ's character, Martique, of being the DJ, and just being someone who, he has a piece in there called Zombie. And he talks about America and the system of the government. And all of that came from actual conversation where in the dialogue, the actual guys, what they were saying in these community conversations. So by the time we started writing the piece, we already had a wealth of information and dialogue and topics to discuss, and stories and situations, and of everything. Because in this piece, you'll see a variety. It's only 5 characters, but you'll see a variety of Black men and how they deal with their mental health. But one common thing, all of them have had a situation with harassment from the police or police brutality.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I run off at the mouth sometimes. So.
We have a question.
What do y'all think about Black people who believe everyone should stop using the N-word? I believe it should be used by us within our own spaces, art, music, and theater, etc. Oh, that's a good question.
It's funny, right? I had just watched the podcast dealing with like the N-word and stuff like that. And there are older artists now who are trying to transition out of using the N-word. Age comes wisdom, and just being like Talib Kweli said, there's white people and Black people that come to my shows. But the type of audience fans I got, the white people won't use the N-word if I give them permission to. At a concert, Jay-Z said, "You got my permission." Nigga, what? Nigga, who? Right. And people were saying it. So, So the conversation came up about that. And one thing about us as Black folk and our commonality, no matter what walk of life you come from, our history is, for America, is trauma. So the systems that we put in place, even when you talk about therapy, they're being provided, especially if you're on Medicaid system. When I started seeing my therapist, I had a government assistance. You're appointing me government paid therapists from the same system that would persecute us. So the trust issue with Black folk in therapy runs deep because we don't trust doctors, we don't trust dentists. You can't pay us to go to a dentist appointment half the time unless that's what we've been doing our whole lives. These things aren't just Black things or things like that, or even when it comes to tipping and stuff like that. Tip like we're still trying to have people recognize we built this country, and yet we serve y'all in all y'all militaries, we serve y'all. And for the answers back in those days, they still were persecuted after I'm a vet. I ran into a vet in a cigar shop because I smoked cigars, and he was just so angry. Wow. He had his vet hat on and everything, so angry. And I listened to him and I said, "Thank you for your service," but that's me just running off. But one thing about us that I always say is community, barbecues and stuff like. So going back to the N-word by us, let's put it this way, because a guy made a scenario. If I'm arguing with my sister and that's my sis, and I call her a bitch and this, that, and the third, and I got my homeboys there and they're on my side, and they say, "What's up with this bitch?" I'm gonna punch him in his mouth. You don't get a pass. This family stuff. That's for us. So that word is for that word. That's a family thing. Whether that issue for that N-word is for us, and he was saying like white people were asking why they can't use the word. It said it ain't even a question. You don't
Right,
have a. You shouldn't even be asking why.
You
It's
right.
shouldn't even
not
be
your
asking why.
It's
business. That's not your That's not who you. That's us. So
Yeah,
whether we want
yeah,
to use the N word or not is only a discussion that needs to be discussed by us and between us.
absolutely.
No
I
one
don't
yeah,
else
believe in
because
is
the
giving people
question
credit
is,
involved
either.
in that. Yeah.
yeah, because at the same time, it's just like you asking. It's just like you asking them, "Is it okay for me to call you a cracker?" Why can't we say it? Like it's the
Well,
See,
same
cracker is
thing.
less
Like,
offensive to them
well, the
because
thing
it's
is,
not a derogatory term at
right?
all. It
Because
yeah,
doesn't
but
come
that's what I'm
behind.
saying.
It
They
doesn't
don't
come off as a
understand.
derogatory term for them. It doesn't come
but
off
their
like that.
excuse
Versus
is
nigga for
because
us,
we
it's deeply rooted.
but the discussion for us is because we say it as a term of endearment, and
Mhm.
then they try to go with that excuse or whatever. Everybody has different outlooks of it, but it's like that's not their, it's not y'all discussion. Whether it's term of endearment, like cracker, don't ain't nobody offended by cracker. Ain't nobody
Right.
offended by those words. When they was hanging
If
us, we was
you,
niggas. When they was castrating us, we was niggas. When they was locking
yeah, and
Right.
us
that,
up, we
Yeah.
was niggas. When they was raping us in front of our families and our wives, or raping the men in front of the families, wives, or raping the wife in front of the family, and then auctioning us off so we couldn't see our kids again, we were still nigga. What Jay-Z
We
say?
still niggas.
Still nigga.
if
So
Yeah.
you
no
if
matter
you
what that is, they have no topic of that conversation, and
if
whether
you
it's a
have to
double-edged
ask
sword.
me, yeah, if you have to ask me, you don't know my history. If you have to even ask me
Yep.
why, you don't know my history.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel.
That's deep. Oh, y'all getting deep here today. I like it. y'all got some deepness in here today. What y'all had? But I love it though. I love it. So,
Definitely, definitely.
how when is the play running? When does the play start?
We open on November the
November
11th,
11th.
November
and we're
the
running
11th,
to
and
the
the
27th
okay.
of November.
Ooh, okay.
And so we every weekend at the Arena Players here in Baltimore. And I want to point out that the theater that we're in is the oldest
The
continuous
oldest.
African American theater in the country. This
Mm,
theater started 69 years old and
Mm.
69 years ago, and they've never
Okay.
shut their doors. So that's why it's
Never.
important to do a piece like that.
I wonder if
Nice.
they
I
still
love
do.
it.
Do they still do class trips? I remember when I was in elementary school, they did a class trip to that arena before.
Oh yeah, still yeah.
So they're in.
That's
Oh, that's
history.
nice. So what
You know
are
that
the times for the
that was
play?
one of the things here in Baltimore. I was challenged about why did I select that place where I could
That was my
select
next
other
question.
theaters, and I was like, because it's our theater, and
Mm,
because it's the oldest continuously running theater in the country, we need to pay respect to that.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay. I had a question. I'm sorry about sidetrack. My question was, what are the times for the play? What times will the play be running?
Friday and Saturdays, the play run at 8 p.m. and then on
Mhm.
Sundays at 4 p.m.
I
Okay.
have a question.
Cool.
I do have a question for Troy and PJ. What are your expectations as far as what you're expecting the people to get out of the play, the message out of the play? What are your expectations as far as the play?
Oh, empowerment.
Mm.
Above all, everything else, this is, for us, by us. It's empowerment. It's being able to allowing yourself to be vulnerable and saying, "Yo, it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable," because without vulnerability, you can't even get to the root of your traumas and able to move forward. No community is not built off being vulnerable and just trusting each other and just accepting our differences. And
Right.
those differences is what makes us a piece. When puzzles are put together, the pieces are not made the same. Every
Right.
piece is different. So when
Absolutely.
they come together, they make a perfect embodiment and perfect body of work. And that's really just what it is.
Right.
If you don't leave feeling empowered and just awoken with a new perspective, I mean, you got to come back again.
Mhm.
You got to keep coming back
Mm.
till you get it.
So you get it. Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. You ain't
Yeah.
get what happened, then you come back tomorrow. Or give it
Right.
some time, let it
Right.
sizzle in your spirit, and you come back next weekend, because we'll be back
Right.
here, same time, same place.
I just simply want to provoke thought and conversations. That's where we got to go.
Open conversations.
Open
Mm.
conversation, right? That's why we started with community conversations.
I like that. That is good. And what do you expect? You said open. That's what you're expecting out of it, Troy?
Provoke thought and have open, honest conversations and creating safe spaces for ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's important to have those conversations in a safe space, because if you don't, the whole thing of the conversation can be abused and taken out of context, and not as a tool of healing for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like
I
that.
feel like as far as men, especially black men within the community, I feel like they have to hold so much on their shoulders that they don't have time to complain. They don't have time to take care of themselves. They don't have time to worry about themselves because they have so many other things that they have to take care of, especially when they have families to support and things like that. They don't think they're owed that time to their self.
Hmm
The
And,
system
and
wants it
and
that way.
oh yeah, and
Mm.
taught to suppress your emotions.
The
So
system
we
wants you
talked about safe
separated.
spaces. So we have talked about safe spaces for black men. How can we as black women allow y'all black men that safe space to be open, to be vulnerable, to be that emotional person that we need you to be, or to even unleash whatever you may be holding in? How can we as black women help black men to be that? How can we be that open space for you, that safe space for you?
Oh, hey, them ladies in Wakanda do it very well. They pick up them spears and say, all right, I got you.
Not in
There are
Wakanda.
battles
Not
we
in
can't
Wakanda.
fight. I know I'm joking, but there are battles that we just can't fight. That we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
fight. But what women have always, especially black women, they've always been the phenomenal nurturers and spirit keepers, and just they create the safe space. They create the safe space when we got to do the heavy lifting. You know, they clear the space for where we could put that mess down. We could put that mess
Right.
down and say, give us some rest. And also the time when we give them rest, because it's a lot that I know I put my mother and my woman through a lot too. And sometimes I come home tired, and I'd be like, here you go, and I just break down, and
Wow.
she let me release,
That's good.
because yeah,
Yeah.
and shoot, I got a new baby. Shoot, I see her strength every day. I see her
Oh,
strength every day, because
yeah.
without her, I'm not able to do this. I'm not
Right.
able to come on stage. I'm not able to do. I come to Troy all the time. Hey man, I just came back from swimming lessons. Sorry for being late. And I come through there, it's like dropped her right off. She'll meet me at the Duggan's place, and we exchange the baby, and I go right in. You know,
Oh,
um,
that's
so
awesome.
I see that every day, and I couldn't ask her to do anything more for me. So I mean,
Yeah.
for black women, is support, their strength, their gift. I don't expect them to be in the weight room and help me spot me at the bench press, but if she
Mhm.
Some do.
Mhm.
if she
Some do
do,
it.
hey, listen, that's awesome. But even knowing what they sacrifice to do that, women who be dedicated to gym, they don't want babies. They don't want, like, no, I'm not messing my 6-pack up. But just for what they sacrifice, just so we can go out there and lead.
Yeah.
If you want to find a great leader, where's that woman at?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's she
Yeah.
at? There's a piece in the play where, I mentioned the Michelle Obamas and the Barack Obama. You can't mention one without
Mhm.
the other.
Hmm
Yeah.
Right.
You
Who
sure
holds
can.
the
Definitely.
weight of the world on the world on his shoulders without that woman right there? Because she gonna be the one to check on you. Need some water? That look kind of heavy. You all right? I'm good. Yeah, I could take some water.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
It's not a
with
job, Gerard. It's not a job.
right, it's not a job. It's not a job. With that being said, this is my question for you, Troy. I know that this is a play about men. I know that, and I know
hmm
you're a man. But have you ever thought about turning that into a woman's thing, like a woman's perspective of that? You thought I was
Oh,
her?
definitely. Actually, I've been approached many times, but as an artist, I say, this is a story I know I have to get out right now.
Yes,
Because before
absolutely.
this
Yep.
piece, we've had other productions like For Color Girls and a lot of other stage
Mhm.
productions where women can tell their stories, but it's
Mhm.
it's
Mm.
rare that you see
It's just
black
female.
men on stage,
Mhm.
you know, open
Very
themselves
rare.
up and telling their stories in a very honest way. Um,
Right.
and so
Mm.
yes, I would love to do that because actually there are three of the writers are actually women in the show.
Wow.
So when we did and I'll just say this, when we actually got together to write the script, I said, okay, we're not going to just take it where men are going to get up here and say all of this stuff and women bash and all. We need the ladies' perspective to be in here. So the ladies came in the room and they said, okay, we have to give voice to some of the things that you all are saying too. That's how we are supporting you with this. Our
Wow.
backstage crew, our stage manager, female, choreographer, female. So it's like it's not. We understand balance.
Yes.
So men
That.
are on stage giving their stories, but their stories of balance because we have our ladies with us.
Mm.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So how
Really
can
like.
one get tickets for the play for this theatrical mixtape? How can someone get tickets for this and
And are they still available?
yeah.
Well, we're hoping for, the thing is, I'm telling everybody in the show, I'm like, okay, play to this audience, play to the back, because we're going to have busloads of people coming in to see the show. So, but tickets are, you can, I'm right there on Arena Players website. I'm not sure of the website address. I can't think that fast. But
Mhm.
Arena Players, I think it's Arena Players Inc. .com that you can pull up and that you can get the tickets there. You Thought I Was Him Facebook page, and it's the capital letter U instead of YOU. And so capital letter U Thought I Was Him. Facebook page there. You can just look me up, Troy Burton, on social media, Baltimore, and then you can get tickets through that because this is a very unique piece because it's a piece that was developed by men of the community through the community conversations where we've had a writer's room where we took all that information in the writer's room and we composed the show. But then we turned around and we hired actors of the community and we put it in a African American community theater. So it's very much community based, and that's one thing that I really want people to see that what's happening with this piece. It's just not saying we going in the theater and doing a show. This is really community being involved. And because we got to get back to community, we've gotten away from community so much that we don't know where we are. And so
Right.
this piece speaks to that.
Definitely,
Mm.
definitely, definitely. I'm
I
definitely you.
am I can't wait. I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
know. That's what I gotta say. He
Um
pulled me in because I want to know what men are thinking. I want to
I want to
know.
know. I want to know what I want. I'm excited to see this storytelling come to fold. I love when black
Right,
men are emotional. I love when black men are allowed that space to be who they need to be. I think
right.
that not
The
a
better
lot of women are
understanding of
comfortable with
them.
that. That I need to, as a black woman, I need to be held accountable, and I need to know what can we do better to help these
Absolutely.
black men become better fathers, better providers, better people, better just men in general. So um, Troy, what about each of the phases of this project? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, wow. Like I said, we've been working on the project for a year. The first phase was the community conversations, talking to groups of men and actually also talking to individuals. I spent a lot of time doing research because I wanted to be honest that I represent us. You can't represent everything about black men, but at the same time, you can be honest with the ones you talk with. So the first phase was a community conversation. And then we evolved from that to doing a series of podcasts called the You Thought I Was Him podcast, where we had different artists on to talk about being an artist and how to develop their work in different subject matters pertaining to um, being an artist, a creative in their community. And that was
Mm.
the first phase of it. The second phase was more getting into the writer's room, where we convened a group of writers, a rapper, well, two rappers, a jazz singer, a couple poets, a couple of writers of actually a first time writer. So we just got a group of diverse African American men and women in the room, and we just started writing. And that was the second phase. The third phase was the actual auditions, hiring actors and rehearsals. And then the fourth, phase is going into the actual performance. So we broke it up over a little over a year, this whole project of different phases. And it's my hope that we can actually share it with other communities, throughout the country, especially African American theaters, of how having your community involved with building a production from the community. So we make sure we're telling our stories.
Absolutely. I like how you
go ahead. I'm Kia. I'm sorry.
I just like how when you were talking about the phases, how many opportunities you presented, especially so you have new writers and things like that. I think that's awesome.
And the thing is, as a local producer myself, I said, okay, everybody has to be paid for this. I can't ask people to come in, so writing some grants and fundraising so that we're not actually paid, but like good stipends. Because I wanted to be a project where, if I had big money, I could pay people real big money. But, making sure everybody involved, there are a couple of musicians that wrote original tracks that the guys are doing a cipher in the show. And so the musician got paid for his track. Thank you for that. Here's your money. We good. So it's been that throughout the whole piece. We had a ghostwriter come in to write all of their raps for the cipher. He came in, he coached them, he worked with the guys, and so he got paid for doing what he did. Same thing as the writers of the actual dialogue. So I just wanted to make sure that this is how we do us in our community.
Absolutely.
But we'll take your grant money, foundation.
Big money is coming.
And there you go.
Definitely.
Yeah. PJ, my question for you is, how did you come across this script, like the audition? Did somebody point you in a direction? Like how did you come across it?
To be honest, I'll be doing so much I couldn't remember as much, but I definitely remember the email, and I definitely remember I'm like, okay, I'm ready, I'm going. And when I got there, I just really was like, oh snap, you want me to do what? And to be honest, I couldn't find it was crazy because when I was getting asked for the availability to audition, I was like, I'm responding like thinking it's a whole nother one. And then they was like, you sure this for you? I said, yeah, I'm there. Hold up. I'm there. And so I pulled up and everything, and it was just the way it was set up. I see Troy, I see Dayton. I'm like, oh, all right. And hand me a paper, and I was just like, just do you. And I was like, who is it? DJ? Bet. All right. And it was something that was just so a smooth transition because that's my sphere. That was my thing. So and as soon as I left the audition room, I was just like pretty excited. I was like, okay, and my fiance was excited and said, I know you're gonna get this and I want this for you. So she wanted it for me almost as bad as I did because in this business you get told more no's than yeses. So I was just like, well, I hope so. And that's another thing going back to just women and counterparts. They speak so much life into you and just they believe in they see it before you do. It's like I see it and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, I hope so.
Right. Believe it.
We can see it, we can believe it, we can feel it.
I check emails more than text messages, so I was on it. And as soon as I got the thing, I said, all right. And then it's been a wild ride ever since, and it's been such an honor and just growing and just learning new skills and everything that Troy is been just teaching and guiding, But yeah, that's kind of how it was for me. I don't know. I just be going. I think I just be saying yes to a bunch of stuff. I'll do it.
I also want to add that PJ's character, Martique Smith, is an actual someone that I knew. He passed, young guy, passed diabetes, and he was the young person that said to me, "Hey Burton, when are you going to do something for the next generation?" And I said, I got you, man. As soon as I finish this show, we're going to start on a new project. I don't know what we're going to call it. We might call it You Thought I Was Him. And while I was working on my other show, he passed. And I said, we kept filming it because I found out right on set, and we kept filming it. And I just said, I'm going to do this show for you, Martique. And then the idea came to name a character Martique and include some of the things about his life and being a DJ and, some of the things. So it's based on real characters. A lot of the characters are based on real characters. The patriarch of the family, we call him Uncle Brother. Uncle Brother is an openly gay man, and it's rare that you see that type of story being told on stage, and that person is a patriarch of a family. This is the person that the family go to when they want to learn about financing and I'm buying a house and things like that. And Uncle Brother comes through for everyone. So I wanted to show, this is that character is not there for the punchlines and the stereotypical gay man in a play or something like that. He has a story to tell.
Absolutely.
And so we went the route with that. We have another character, Cousin, who's actually a visual artist. And he wants to paint the hood beautiful, but he went to law school to study to be a lawyer. But what he realized from looking at our, the criminal system, our government and things of that nature, he kind of switched his whole life up because he didn't want to be a part of it. So, I mean, and these are based on real life people,
right?
These stories. So it's a lot to absorb. But at the same time, the way we tell the story, and that's why it's a theatrical mixtape, because it's one story, but it's also micro stories within the piece.
Do you feel comfortable with sharing some of the other characters?
Sure. Well, the main character is Kevin Alexander Brown. He's a 17-year-old young man, and he's navigating through life, and he's looking at all the characters that the Black men that are around him. And it's like a rites of passage of having these men around him, and so he can make some decisions about life, of how he exists in America. And there's PJ, who is the best friend of one of the characters named Cousin. Cousin, Cuzzo. That's the character I just described that went from being studying law to actually being an artist. And then Kevin Jr., his father, we see his father, Big Kev. Big Kev is a community man. He's a second grade school teacher. He's very much involved with the community. He's a person who decided to stay in the neighborhood where he was born and raised, where he also teaches school. So we're showing these Black men how they operate in their communities. But Big Kevin doesn't have a great relationship with his son. He's so busy taking care of community and taking care of this image. His problem is that he's not focusing on his own child. So his own child has to navigate through other resources, in life to develop. And then you have Uncle Brother, like I said, who is the patriarch of the family, and he's an openly gay character. And he takes you through life, his history, and things that he's dealt with, because he's lived through the period of HIV and AIDS, and he suffers from survivor's guilt. So you see each one of them have their own traumas that they deal with, right, how they interact with each other. And then, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you the whole show. But
no.
you got to come see that, because it's not, with all their traumas and all of their, life situations, they do have a happy side of life. They find joy no matter what. So it's a story that needs to be told.
Right.
Did I forget any characters, PJ?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's everything.
Because they probably watching right now, and if they watching, we had one character. I shouldn't tell this, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. We had one. We had a sixth character, but things didn't work out, so we wrote him out of the script. Like the old TV show Family Matters. The little girl went upstairs and never came back down. We had to write him out of the script, so we did that, and you only hear his voice in the play, and they talk about him. Kevin Coyne. They're gonna kill me for saying that.
Yeah. So I have a question. How have you guys, either one of you guys can choose the answer. How have you broken your own cycle within your family, your friendships, and or your community circle? Like, how have you broken that cycle? Uh,
Well, I'll say
go ahead.
this: I've done that through my art, something that's
Mm.
very dear and personal to me. By creating these productions, You Thought I Was Him, or We're Talking Like This, a real nigga show, things that are right there in your face, and I've used that as a form of therapy for myself, is to create, put it out there to the public, and have these conversations where you find like-minded people where you say, okay, you've been through that too? Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk to somebody else. So I use my art as a way of, breaking cycles.
So have you included like anything personal life wise in any of your productions, like personal to you,
Okay.
as far as
Well,
anything you went through?
um, the character Uncle Brother, I actually had a uncle named Uncle Brother.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so that right there, a friend of mine was actually like cousin law school to, becoming an artist. So that there are things in the script that actually come from my life and how they were dealt with, and so that's
Okay.
that's how I do my thing.
Cool.
Troy, we have a question for you. It says, Troy, working on so many projects, do you have a favorite or one that's been most memorable?
Well, I'll say a real nigga show, because that one was groundbreaking, and it was the same process of developing this show. We had the same process then, but I was a younger guy and I didn't know I was developing a community program. So with this one, I was able to actually put it in a structure. But that one, I was just mentoring some young Black men who just reached out and said, hey, we want to write something, we want to do something. So I've always done mentoring to younger Black men through my art. But this is a close number two, because I think this one, I'm hitting something special with this theatrical mixtape.
I feel like it.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Just from you talking
Remember,
about it.
guys, to the viewers, if you guys have any questions, you can definitely feel free to ask them. We are open to anybody who has questions for both PJ and Troy. Gerard said, I'm trying to get on stage. I got scared.
Okay.
Why is
Get
this
the
nigga
You Thought I Was
still
Him
up?
page up.
He's a great.
Shouldn't you be asleep, Gerard?
I don't listen to rap like that, but Gerard is one of a good. He's a great rapper to me. He's a great rapper. He has a nice flow. He doesn't sound like everybody else, and he really studies the art and what he does. He don't put as much time into it as much as he should with his music.
Right. I can already say, why he ain't come to my label?
Get him back in the studio.
But he
We're trying to get him
definitely needs to
back
get back
in
in the
now.
studio. He has a great flow. He's a really great lyricist, I believe. PJ, can you answer the question about how you may have broken the cycle with your family, your friendship circle, or your community?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's just my persistence, just rolling with the punches and just continually going. We all have our trial and errors, and like I say, just like Gerard, he's my cousin. Just we see each other a lot. We have our talks. And I sometimes people just see you doing things, but they don't see, you know, you in private, your insecurities, your self doubts, and you keeping your head down and you keeping it going. So I think I I don't I don't really can pinpoint like a breaking the cycle. I just see how things are changing around me. I see how my relationships, the business moves that I'm scared to make, but I make anyway because there's no other options for me, because there's always something pulling at you to say, you know what, I I want different. I want better. I was taught better, and when you know better, you do better. And
Absolutely.
and every good movie has an ending. And when my credits roll, I want it to be something phenomenal to see. Um, I'm just not gonna be the guy that got a bunch of kids and no money. I'm saying,
Right.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna
I like
make.
that, PJ.
I'm gonna be the guy with a bunch of kids and kids with a lot of stakes. that are left for them, because they say that about black folks. You get all these kids, these baby moms, like, no, they are very well taken care of, and they all know who their dad is, and they all know what their
I
dad
love
does. And
that.
the art that I created, and the persistence and the gall, whether I was scared, nervous, whatever, I tell everybody, I don't. Uh, King Griffey Jr. said confidence is like how is this is how you conduct your business.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Arrogance is something that you have to explain. You know,
I like that.
so confidence is going to be my business. Confidence is going to be that what I set groundwork is going to be set for everybody else. So I'm breaking it as I'm just breaking it just from them, the aspirations. I'm breaking it just from going to the audition and saying no and constantly going back. We're breaking just by continuously going for better, no matter how much they try to, whoever they is, whether they have an agenda or not, that we're not gonna let that break us, and we're a resilient race of people anyway. So if you know your history, you wouldn't stop, you wouldn't quit, you know.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I hope I answered it. I don't know. I got deep.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah. So just keep going in my art, and my, like, kind of what Troy said. It's art. This what we do.
And I
That's how
have
we
a
break
question
it.
for both of you. Outside of the project, outside of the production, are any of you personally involved within your community outside of this?
Oh, yes. My other profession is like a housing specialist, like outreach for homeless and stuff
Oh
like
wow,
that, going
awesome.
into communities and trying to work with people who just don't have nothing else. Sometimes the unfortunate thing is, especially because I'll be working out in the county, and especially like Anne Arundel County, and there's such a disparity of blacks and whites, especially when you go further up Annapolis, and how segregated it is. And a lot of my
Very.
clients are homeless, so when you go downtown Annapolis and you just see everybody just jogging, having a good time, the white folk, but you
Mm.
see the black person, they out there right in front of the liquor store. Just one client we had froze to death, um, because he was so drunk and it was cold outside. Your body temperature's low. And he was a guy who black guy, came from another country and watched his parents get slaughtered by,
Mm,
terrorists. I forgot what country. He was hidden in the
mm,
closet as a kid, and he watched them just execute his parents. So the trauma, he doesn't talk. He doesn't this, but he's always kind of like happy because he's always drunk. But just seeing that, and just working with these government entities, and they said we ain't got nothing for them. We ain't got nothing for them, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
heartbreaking.
it's like you take that kind of personal, but and it kind of hurts you because sometimes you take that back with you home, and it's
Absolutely.
just like, So that's what I do on the outside, as well as music and stuff like that. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, Troy, what about you? Do you do anything as far as
Also real
outside?
estate, by the way.
Uh, he had to put that in there. Real estate. Anybody looking for property? Real estate.
For years, I mean, I've been working in the Baltimore community as an artist. Like I said, arena players. I've taught there for the Arena Players Youth Theater for years. Um, for many years, I was the executive director of the UB Blake National Jazz Institute and Cultural Center, and
Mm.
doing a lot of work in the community there. Recently, I started my own consulting business with Troy Burton, Arts and Entertainment Consultant. Where, because after so many years of writing grants and doing so many community programs, I thought that I could do something really to help the community. But I wanted to be able to do it my way, where I see that there's a greater need. Because a lot of times you got to follow certain guidelines. You got boards of directors and all of that stuff. Um, so after doing a lot of community work for years, I'm doing my own thing now. And as an independent consultant, I've had a chance to work with the Black Arts District here in Baltimore, I worked outside of Baltimore as a consultant for an arts group called the Maroon Arts Group. And they brought me in to kind of help them, guide them in terms of developing community programs. And I just keep as an individual artist now, I just keep projects like this where I can represent other individual artists and creating opportunities for them, because we call ourselves the squad. And I say to the other people, I say, hey y'all, there's a grant out there for individual artists. Y'all better put your application in, and we kind of work together to make sure that as artists, we're able to provide opportunities for each other that we can present to the community.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And what's the
Now,
name
before
of
you
your
guys, go
consultant
ahead.
community, real quick? What's the name of your consultant company?
Troy Burton Arts and Entertainment
Got
Consultant.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I decided to own myself.
Yeah. Before you guys leave, please shout out your social medias, how we can follow you, how we can get more of PJ and Mr. Troy. Like, how can we see more of you guys?
Absolutely.
You can check me out on IG, Snapchat, Facebook at PJ, aka Pat Bean. All music media streams is PJ4 short. That's PJ number 4 short. All new and old music and stuff like that. So
PJ has some great videos on there, guys, too. Really awesome videos. Please check him out on YouTube and everything.
Oh yeah, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. That just PJ4 short as well.
You do collabs. Collabs. Okay. I'm gonna have to hit you up. I got a whole bunch of orders. So I'm gonna have to hit you up. We gonna have to collab.
Let's work then.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Troy. How can we reach you? How can we follow you?
I'm Troy Burton on IG. Troy Burton on Facebook. Troy Burton on Twitter, all that stuff. I don't mess with Twitter too much.
Me neither. I don't mess with Twitter too much either. But don't forget, guys, the show premiere. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then also, but I left out one thing. I'm also a road manager for jazz recording artist Mace, and we have a record company together called Blue Velvet Soul Records. So if you
have time for all of it.
Actually, I just directed a new video that premiered on YouTube. It's called Whatever by Mesa. And if you put in Mesa, and you can stuff.
I heard of Mesa.
Yeah, me too. Oh my God! Wow, that's amazing.
So I've been working with her since 1990. Notice I said 1996, and we decided to start our own record label, and we're putting out a record called Music for Your Soul is coming out in February. It's a 19-track record. You don't hear.
Jazz.
Yeah, it's like jazz, smooth jazz, and things like that. And so it's fun to put many hats on, and that's the one thing. That's a trait that I gave to PJ in the show. People always told me I'm a man of many hats because I work in nonprofit work and performance work and all. So in doing the show, I said, okay, PJ, the character, he's going to be a man of many hats, and he wears all these hats throughout the show. So
PJ does wear a lot of hats.
PJ
does wear a lot of, and not figuratively speaking either. He does wear a lot of hats.
I sure do.
He has many.
Got one on right now.
Gurus. He's a father. Yep. He's a musician. He's an actor. Now he has all these different things. Yeah.
That is
so
awesome.
Don't forget, guys. You Thought I Was Him premieres November the 11th at the Arena Playhouse or the Arena Players. It is on McCullough Street, 801, I believe. 801 McCullough Street, right on the corner of McCullough and Martin Luther King. If anybody doesn't know where that is. Also, the link for tickets is in our bio. We will also be putting that link up the week of the show. We will be putting that link out a lot for you guys. If anybody would like to attend the show, I'm definitely going to be there. I'm off that day. Thank God for
She coming from North Carolina. She is coming from North Carolina to be there.
Definitely will be in the building for that show. I'm excited. I can't wait to see you guys in person.
Absolutely.
But Troy, I cannot wait to meet you in person. I am excited for you guys.
Absolutely.
And then they say break a leg. Don't they say break a leg?
Oh yeah, we're fine with that.
Okay,
Open
I
night.
did say I heard something bad about that, so I don't
No, no,
Wait,
we
so
go
you're
because
like,
opening night we're gonna have a party. Opening night is gonna be so special
know.
because we're
so
having
you
an
mean to say I
art
gotta come with my party
exhibition.
clothes on? Is what you're saying?
Okay. Oh yeah,
Come with the
come
party clothes on? Is what you're saying?
come
Okay,
on because
say
we're
loud.
gonna have a DJ right there in the lobby. We're gonna have a
Oh,
party right there in the lobby reception. We're gonna have an art show. It's gonna be a lot of things. The guys will come out and able to meet people after the show, and then we're just gonna kick it up and have a theatrical mixtape party after the show.
cool.
Yes, I cannot wait, you guys. I am so happy for you. Good luck on everything. You
Absolutely.
guys are
Congratulations.
amazing men. Keep doing what you're doing in the communities,
Absolutely.
not just
Thank
for
you.
Black men, but for the Black community in general. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having us.
Thank you for
No
having us.
problem. No problem. See you guys November the 11th.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
All right.
I'm gonna try to see if we can get with Nate. Maybe get with Nate to see if there's something we could do, like a giveaway, a ticket giveaway or something. Maybe we can try to
Oh,
come up
on
with
the
something
show?
like that. Yeah, well, maybe
Okay.
like give a ticket giveaway or something for somebody
Right.
on the show, or maybe we could probably come up with something. We could come up with a good idea for someone. Give them a good date night out for somebody or something like that.
So what day are we going to be there? Because I just looked at my calendar. I'm actually off on the 11th. So I don't know what day are we doing the show?
I
On
don't
Saturday
know
or
what they're
Friday?
doing it, but I was gonna just go for just go to support on November the 11th. I
On the
don't
11th?
know if we're
Okay.
gonna actually I don't know if we're gonna actually do something. We have to get with Nate about that to see what the plan is. But I definitely want to just go for opening night to support, to be there, to show face, just to watch the
Definitely.
play because I'm really interested.
I
I love
am.
I love
Ah,
plays. I
I
love
am.
plays.
I definitely am. I mean, it sounds so awesome. Like everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but over the past couple of years, because Janina's daughter was doing plays, at one point in time, Janiyah was doing plays.
Mhm.
I have found that I love plays. And it's funny because my grandmother, before Medea and all that thing became like big to the point where you couldn't even get a ticket, they was going
Mhm.
to, over there to Morgan State when they first started doing the Medea plays. My grandmother was going faithfully to
She
every
sure
day on
was.
play. But
She
I was
sure
never
was.
into it. I was never into plays like that. But I mean, they are awesome. The involvement, just, the order, just actually physically being there in the setting and watching the actors and just watching, Nate said it's not a real play. Get over my nerves. I'm not saying nothing about Tyler Perry. He ain't so I ain't got enough money for him to sue me.
All shade. You heard him. All shade. All shade.
But just
All
actually
shade.
being there and to actually watch a play, I don't know, it kind of gives me a little bit of chills because I feel like, to actually watch those actresses and those actors, they are awesome to like their presentation, how they really step into those roles. It is awesome because I'm like, yeah, nope, I'd have walked back to the back. I'd have went back to nope, can't do it. I'm out. That'd have been it. I'd have ruined the whole play.
Mhm.
Can't do it. Too many people watching. I'm gone. But just to actually step into those roles and how they're able to switch it on and off. Oh my God. It's awesome. I'm excited. I am excited to see this play. Nate, when are you coming out with a play? When? I'm excited. I want you.
I
I want.
definitely
I
need a
want to
role
come.
in whatever it is. I need a role.
First of all, I've
I
been
know he was
doing
coming
that.
on here. Go back into the chat because I don't like how you came on. You came in hot and heavy.
Right. I mean,
Mhm.
I paused for a second. I'm supposed to be doing something next year, but the support gotta be there. Like doing these plays are, you know, and like Troy said, we've been doing this for a year, preparing for this for a year. And people, especially within our black communities, they don't support. Now they'll go out and
Absolutely.
see Tyler Perry and do your thing, Tyler. But there are people who have
No,
studied this,
Casey.
that work hard for this,
They
that
do.
really put forth the effort, and
It's a lot of work.
you passes up. So
It's a lot of work. I
come
know it's
on.
definitely a lot of work when you, especially as a director or a writer, how much work with him saying,
Mhm.
talking about it. I can tell it's a lot of work you guys put into it.
Mhm.
They PJ and the other cast members have been here for at least almost 2 months now.
Mm.
They've started with a workshop,
Mm.
and now they're in a rehearsal process. So that's, after the show, y'all see me going into the conference room at the 1734. That's what this was all for. We were having those meetings for these things and planning and going through. But the arts are often looked at as just entertainment, but people don't realize the messaging behind
Mm-hmm.
it and how I even when I look at a
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry play, the message typically gets me, even if I don't like the aesthetics of it. The
Right.
messaging
It's the
normally,
message.
get that
Absolutely.
frog in my throat.
Right.
It's a lot, and I don't do
Absolutely.
work that's just entertaining. I refuse to do that anymore. I owe Sally makes too
So
much money to be an
okay,
entertainer.
I guarantee it. Right. Absolutely. I thought they was doing those loans. I thought we was doing away with them. I thought they was giving us I
Well,
thought they
my
was
bill
giving
ain't zero yet. When my bill hits zero, then I'll do my church stomp. But
us.
it
okay.
ain't. My bill still got a balance.
Yes, and don't
Mm,
keep going back. Don't keep going back. Try to do more. That thing gonna go
mm-mm.
up. I
Right.
didn't know, and I don't know if this is true, but I just found out through my mother-in-law because she just got her doctorate in ministry, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not to that level yet, so I don't know if it's true or not. But she said
Mm-hmm.
after a certain level of degree, they don't even give you financial aid anymore. You have to pay.
Well, typically, like your master's degree, you don't get as much fun. So your bachelor's degree, you get the most support, and as you go up, you get the least amount of support up to your doctorate. Now, what happens is, so say she got her ministerial degree, her church may have reimbursed her, or her congregation may have pay for it, or what, they're more non or private loans or private grants that help you as you get your master's and your phd. You should find a fellowship that will help you pay for
Right.
your degree, but is the problem is it's less and less time. So a bachelor's
Because
degree
they feel like
typically,
you should be in your kind of already in your
right, in your
field.
yeah, in your field. So a
Okay, yeah.
bachelor's degree is typically, it says 4 years, but it's really 5 to 6 years. That's why they give you the most money then to spread out over that time. Your master's degree is typically 2 years, depending on
Mm,
how much work experience you have in that degree. And your PhD,
absolutely.
it can take anywhere between a year to 10 years. I know some people who are still trying to get their doctorate because there's so much work
Work.
presenting your
Yeah.
PhD to the board of, I don't know what they call them, judges or whatever, but yeah, so it's unfortunate, but that's why I'm a person that I push people to at least try college, but just know what you want to do when you get there
Right.
because it will cost
I
you
don't.
so much more.
That's the thing right now. Like I am so torn as to if I want to go back now because I'm like, is it even? I don't know. I'm just torn as to. I have not made a decision as to if I want to continue to keep trying to push towards a degree or if I just want to kind of take off with everything else that's going on because it's like trying to find the time and the balance. It's really hard for
Are
me.
you in banking right now? You still in banking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So typically, those companies
They
have
should have some type of
reimbursement,
reimbursement. Yeah.
right? They
They
normally,
do. I'm talking about the time and effort that I want to put into.
well,
I'm
no,
talking
but see, you're looking at it when you were young, trying it. Right
about.
now, you can still work and take maybe 1 or 2 classes at a time. You don't try to do everything at one
I
time.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Because I just be wanting to get it over with. I'm like, I don't know why. It's funny. I tell everybody else it's no time limit on getting a degree. But for myself, I'm like, I got a time limit.
How
I
many
got maybe
credits do you
5 or
already
6.
have?
You said what?
How many credits do you already have?
I don't know. I think I need 35 more.
Girl, that's like 2 semesters, three at the most.
I don't care. But when you break them down, Nate, when you break them down to one class per semester, that's a long time.
Yeah, but do a hard class, easy class
Oh
every
man.
Mm-hmm.
semester.
Or
for
do
hard
2 easy
class,
classes and do
you know,
1 hard class.
I
So that
be
you can
trying to
focus.
cram it, Nate, because I be like, I want to go. I want to finish.
no,
I be
and see,
trying to
that's why
cram
you're
it.
not
I
finishing.
hate. I
And that's
know.
what
I know. That's what I'm
happens.
trying to tell you. I do know that. I know.
That
That's why
happens
I
to us all. You try to take a full load, 18, 19 credits, and
I
you
do.
crazy because you
I
done took
do.
about five of those classes are like writing
I do.
classes.
They
You
are.
know,
I
and then
do.
the other half
I
are,
do.
you know, the big science classes or math classes. Take a
I do.
class that's hard
I
for you
did too. I
and take a
messed
class that's
myself
easy
up.
for you.
I thought I was doing good. So I thought I was good. Last summer, I took an English class. I think it was like English 280
See,
something,
that's
something like that. And
so
I
a
took
writing class, so
a
an English class,
sociology.
right?
At the
Well,
same, I didn't know
like that may both be easy for you. I mean, may be difficult for you.
it
My
was. It
my
was because I
advice is
didn't
to
know that
think
they both. I
right.
didn't know. I was thinking about taking a sociology class that it was just going to be more of just
That's
reading and
sociology. That's a
studying.
lot of reading and
It
writing.
is, and then you add on when I took those two and then I did a summer semester, and the summer semesters is cut in half. I
Yeah.
was surprised at myself when I passed. I actually passed with an A
Because
that
it's
semester.
more. So I always suggest it because for me, my English classes, the other writing classes, I have a tip for that, but I can't say that out loud because then
Put it in a thing. I
they
need to
probably
know.
gonna revoke my credits.
Put
But
it in the chat. I
for
need
a
to know.
writing class, if writing and math classes, take it one at it by itself, either in the summer classes or your winter semester, because there's a shorter time period
Mm-hmm.
and you can focus on it more, even if it's half the amount of time. In
Right.
the fall and spring, take the classes like the sociology classes, where you're just basically doing a lot of reading and you
Mm-hmm.
may have to do some class
Time.
projects.
So you
Take
need more
them,
time.
right, take them,
That's
the
right.
easiest is spring and fall. And I'm speaking over myself because
I almost
I
killed
want to go
myself,
back
Nate.
myself.
They
But
almost killed myself. I can tell y'all, and I ain't lying. I sat on a
stop listening
couch.
to them advisors because they are students themselves. Stop listening to them.
Who
I'm
you
telling
telling?
you,
They ain't tell me nothing.
those
They
advisors
picked.
will have you taking a
They
million
should.
and one classes, and it's no time for. And I think I learned that because I went to a non-traditional school. I went to Coppin, so Coppin isn't filled with a lot of teenagers. So
I
a
sat
lot of
there
us
and cried.
were working adults. I was an adult when I started school, so you
One
really have to just take your time and think about what's easy, what's hard, and just
one
make
night
a
I sat on
plan.
the couch. One night I sat on the couch and I actually cried, like tears. I'm working, but tears is coming out because I'm tired. I'm tired, and I actually cried.
So I go to the advisor and just sit down with them and realize all the classes that you have and what you can take. Do not listen to them when they telling you when to take classes, because typically
I
what
know
they're
that
doing
name.
is trying to fill up the classes that they're offering.
I
Don't
know
do
that
that.
name.
Go
Mm-hmm.
I know that
through
name
and
because they
realize,
mixed up.
yeah.
Because last semester they mixed up. They had me. I had to drop my. I had to drop. I think it was CPT. It was the information technology. I had to drop that class because the lady picked it, but she didn't tell me. And it wasn't until I got into the class and started realizing that everybody else knew stuff that I didn't know. And talking and getting more into the class, because it was a Zoom class. That professor was saying like, yeah, you had to have took the introduction to that class. That's why people knew more than me. And I'm sitting here lost, like, what the hell is going on?
So they're
Did
just
you
trying to
say,
fill up
did
the
you really want
class.
to be able to focus on getting your degree? What do you want to focus on?
Yeah, basically, yeah, just getting through it. I'm just trying to
I'm
I'm just trying to find time.
I
And
hate doing
another
that.
thing, so because you are a working adult, because you have children, classes in the evening, those young teenagers, they take all their classes in the morning time because they want to be free to mingle in the evening. So take your classes in the evening and on
I was always
Saturday.
told evening classes are for older people.
And if you can, more schools now are offering more of their classes online. That
Yeah,
ain't me.
that's
That
the
ain't
only way
my
I take my
ministry.
classes online.
You can, if unless it's a major class like one of my arts
I take all
classes,
mine online.
I cannot take it online because my attention span is not built like that.
I do the Zoom now. The one now I am smart about that. if it's like my CTP class, my computer technology programming class, I did a Zoom with that because I knew that I couldn't do that all the way online because I know that trying to read that, understand it, I needed somebody.
Only time you take an online class if you're thinking about cheating. That's the only time.
I ain't going to criminate myself, but I might have passed 1 or 2 classes like that.
But I'm saying that's the only time that I would suggest.
I might have passed 1 or 2 classes like that, but I ain't going to criminate myself.
Right, unless you will pay somebody to take that class for you, and it's not a live class. You know,
I'm just being real with you.
Me and my homegirl did that. Me and my homegirl did that. I forgot what class we took together. It was a class we had together, and that's what we did.
Because I know, because when I go back, I have to take a technology fluency class. I'm definitely taking it online. I kept trying to take it in person. I'm taking it online, and somebody will take it from me. Sorry, Coppin.
I do better online.
You ain't supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah.
What they gonna do?
I don't do good with online. I do better in person because I like to see what I'm learning. I
want to get on that person's
I gotta be able to see that. I can't. Yeah, I need to be able to get on your nerves.
It's more flexible for me. It's more flexible for me online.
When I'm new to a class, I sit up front because I like to be attentive. I like to see what's going on. That's how I learn.
You can still take the Zoom. The Zoom classes, I feel like they are paced. I like the Zoom classes. I have to. All my classes are online.
Not all majors do that. So some majors have incorporated the live virtual classes, but a lot of the classes are still simply online where you may watch a recorded tape or get a small instruction and then you turn everything on. A lot of schools they went to that during the pandemic, but a lot of the majors, like my majors, don't offer a lot of virtual classes because a lot of it is in person, acting, and a lot of that don't translate online. But
with IT, I mean, everybody offer IT online, even a certification. So that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit more.
That's amazing at IT.
Yeah. Remember I told you I was all excited because I learned how to do a code. Remember I told y'all when I first started I was excited because I learned how to do a code in there. I was excited about that code. But then I realized when I got further into it, I was like, oh no, she didn't tell me I was supposed to take an introduction so I can understand.
And but you have you have to know the school that you're going to and what is best for that school. Because some schools like Coppin did not have a great virtual program. It didn't because the teachers were lazy and they just did a bunch of recorded messages or a bunch of emails. But you guys also have to know your learning style. If you know
I know my learning style.
Hands-on and you need to be in a building with an instructor that you can get on their nerves and raise your hand and walk up to their desk, do that because that's gonna get you through faster versus somebody like Sharon who works on computers all day long. That fits into her schedule. That fits into her lifestyle.
Fits into my schedule.
And on the third side, if you planning on cheating, take the online class. Let's be real.
That's true. That's true. That's how me and my homegirl passed. We set up on there. We passed all our tests on Quizlet. Yep. We passed all our tests. We were sitting there on the phone like, you found this one yet? We passed all our tests on Quizlet.
Because I'm not even putting myself, once I go for my master's, I'm not even putting myself through that. I'm not doing it. I'm taking virtual classes and somebody goes turn the work in for me from day one. I'm not even going to attempt because that's just not my ministry.
So what did you learn?
I can talk to you all day long, but
what will you learn? What will you learn?
Well, I still study.
Do your job. You know how to do his job.
Right.
He still need to get his degree.
Right. I still study. I'm a studier. I definitely take notes.
What are you getting your master's in?
I'm trying to decide now whether it would be education or art therapy.
Art therapy is a good one.
For me to take art therapy, I would have to move to like San Francisco or another country because there are no nearby schools. As many schools as we have in Baltimore, none of them offer any art therapy type courses or majors. So that means moving to another state.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You can always
I'm trying to find me a good 90s drug dealer Well, actually, an '80s drug dealer because they started getting bummy in the '90s.
Goodbye.
Don't act like you ain't thought about it.
Keep that to
Goodbye.
yourself.
Don't act like
Sugar
you have
daddy.
not thought about a good
Sugar
'80s.
daddy me, please. Sugar daddy me, please.
No, sugar daddies are different. Sugar
Sugar
daddies,
daddy me, please.
no, sugar
I
daddies.
had a friend that did that.
Men.
I had a friend had a sugar daddy
Listen.
pay for her whole way through school.
I don't need no.
Yeah,
I
but
don't need
what
drug dealer because I ain't got
strange
time to be doing time.
things was she doing for that change?
I don't know. I can't account for that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But she had
Exactly. But you know. But you do know.
Sugar
They had nothing to
daddy,
do with
sugar
me.
daddy me, please. Thank you.
No, but see that means BlackRoses don't mind doing something strange for change. That's what that means.
With some old
Only you knew me, Nate.
grayish, some old grayish.
That's
If
Uncle
only you
Charlie
knew me.
type of change,
Okay,
strange.
there we go with that bullshit. There we go with that bullshit. There we go with that bullshit.
I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up.
I want one of those '80s drug dealers that didn't know what to. They had so much money coming in, they didn't know what to do with it. And you could just tuck a little bit under your mattress every now and again. That's what you need in your life. You don't.
I already passed that class. They can't take it back. I'm never gonna say stop telling everything. You don't know who watch. I said, I already passed that class. They can't take that back. I already passed that class.
They don't know what school I went to.
Right. I didn't went to.
KD is not on any of my papers.
Trifling.
Not on none of my papers.
That class is passed and I'm done.
Not even in the same state no more.
Right.
But
even
thanks,
if they
Mama.
try to find me on Facebook, they can't find me on Facebook, Instagram, nothing. That class is done and over with.
I know none of my professors looking at shows like this because
Right.
they out there doing strange things.
Oh!
They're getting strange things for them. That's
right.
The professors?
The professors.
Right. I can't never find one of the professors
called.
that you can what you call it?
I ain't gonna tell you what schools to go to, but they there. They at every school actually.
I can't never get me one of them professors you can seduce to just get my grade right. Come on,
That's because you're not attracted to them. That's the problem. That's not the ones you're attracted to.
I just need to seduce a professor. No, I always end up getting women. That's the problem. I always end up getting female professors.
Well, you didn't specify.
They may be tricky.
You didn't specify.
They may be tricky.
You gotta speak directly to the blessings you want to receive.
Speak it to the existence, honey.
Right. You gotta be real thorough.
When you go sign up for the classes, you know, a lot of them, like lately, I've been getting a lot of them.
You have to be real specific when you talking to God. You can't be out here just saying anything. You got to be
because he has a sense of humor on him. And he will give you exactly what you ask for.
Oh, God.
Okay. You got to be specific when you talking to my God. He can't
My
just go off.
So Jessica was in school. She actually stopped to pursue more music, but she was taking philosophy, and I could never understand, what do you do with philosophy? Like, that was her major. Like, what do you do with philosophy?
Philosophy type classes. It depends on what your field is, like what field you're going into or what field you want to go into. Philosophy teaches you a lot about arguments, a lot about finding the perspective. So, like lawyers or politicians, if that's your field, that's what that class will be best for. Or if you're going to be a leader in your field, or
I have a cousin who has a doctorate in philosophy. Don't ask me what he do.
That's what I said. What did they do?
What he do?
Well,
I don't know, but he be everywhere.
Does he have any political?
Because that was going to be her major.
Criminal justice type of interest.
Did he work? Is he in his field already?
Yeah, he in the field.
Is he like a counselor or a social worker?
What he does.
So he had told me. So he had told me.
No. He not
from all.
Like he has he graduated from
like
really.
He might be in like
the
third.
I think he's like into the sciencey part of it. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. He's like
so that he might be in like therapy or dealing with people, like medicine.
Yeah, that's what he's in that part. Yeah, he's in that part of it.
But what do you do? What do you use philosophy for? That for medicine? Like, what do you?
Because it might be on the side, but it might be on the side of like clinical studies and.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know, you're trying to determine what medication is right for ADHD and stuff like that. So
She said, "Let me go." Stop always scamming on somebody else's page. You always trying to creep on somebody's page.
that's
Stop
strange.
it.
That's strange for the change. She does her research.
She
Yeah,
do.
I
That's
do
why
my
she
research
don't.
on
That's why I
everybody
said
I
you don't
know.
need a sugar daddy. You don't need
She
a
do her
sugar daddy.
research. She definitely do her research. You will
Okay.
not get a date with Black Roses if your background is dirty. If your background and your piss come back dirty, so
Well, I got
Black
a
Rose
couple
ain't for
phone
you.
numbers I need you to run through the system then.
Black
no,
Rose is not
actually,
for
okay.
you.
I'm gonna make an announcement while we're on our show. Actually, me and my mother have came up with a plan. We have the perfect person to set up Black Roses, and we have come up with a plan. We got you. Me and my mom have been talking about this. We have found the perfect person for you. So just know that when I come up there for the play, that you have a blind date coming. Just know
Ooh,
that.
Oh, I
well, you
ain't
gotta
going.
tell me. You can't
Don't you blind
blindside
date
me,
me. Don't blind date me.
because if
Don't
I
do
see
that.
this
Don't do
gremlin,
that.
Angie said
Don't
you
do
going,
that.
so you going. Angie,
Don't
my mama
blind
wouldn't
date me
stare
for
you wrong.
nobody.
My mama wouldn't stare you wrong. Come
Don't
on, my
blind
mama.
date me
Now
for
you might now
nobody.
me. I might stare you wrong, but my mama not gonna stare.
don't tell me, because I
Why
don't
would
want to
she
be
even think that was
blindsided.
okay? Angie, why would you think that was okay?
Because
To
I
blind
laugh
date
out
me?
loud.
Because I'm going to look at a nigga and be like, what?
Oh
Come in the
yeah, she
morning.
did just send me that. I
Oh,
forgot to tell
yeah.
y'all. They have Mardi Gras in Orlando. I believe she said in February or January. Sometime she was asking if we were coming down there to cover or do our podcast at Mardi Gras. I don't know the dates though. I got to look back at the dates.
And speaking of dates, what's happening next week?
Next week, I am excited. We are having our 1-year anniversary sleepover.
Well,
Oh,
it's not
summer parties,
sleepover.
not sleepover, summer party. Don't come to my house. We have summer party, not
Exactly. Stay
sleepover.
where you at.
I'm going to have a sleepover.
Where are your
some special
jammies?
guests coming by.
What time is this?
8 o'clock.
I keep forgetting. All right, Nate. Okay, I keep forgetting. It's at 8 o'clock.
Y'all had the information for a couple days now. It's
I have been
more than
posting.
enough time. I've posted it more than enough time.
Yeah, so our summer party is on Friday. Our slumber party 1-year anniversary for I.Am.She. I'm so excited. It's our 1-year anniversary. Yay, we've been here for a year. It's gonna be October the 28th at 8 o'clock. It's a slumber party theme. So wear your PJs. We have so many awesome women that will be guests on the show that day. We're gonna have some good discussions, some good around, I don't know, because we don't have a campfire, we don't have a table, so some good great discussion. Look at my mother. You see what she wrote?
I smell an Uncle Charlie.
I told you. She come through. He has a pension. He has a pension.
He has a pension.
Told you she got you. She got you.
He sound old.
He not old.
Well, you just said a sugar daddy. Ain't no 30, 20 something sugar daddies out there.
Yes, it is.
He's not unattractive. He's not unattractive. He's not unattractive. He's attractive. He's not ugly. He's not. No, I think she got a good match for you.
Come on, Katie. I need to see it. Don't surprise me
I think she got a good match for you. Hold on. I think she got a good match. Just take a chance. Take a chance for a life.
Honey,
take a chance for a life.
But y'all, wait a minute. How y'all gonna see this person before I do? How y'all gonna see this person before I do?
Well, that's the point of a blind date.
Duh.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yes, bring him to the show. Bring him to the show.
Duh.
Wait a minute, not Nate looking at him. Wait a minute, Nate, did you see him?
Yeah.
No, Nate.
Just
Nate, no.
Too. You would be
That's
happy. You would be happy.
Not my speed. I don't know why y'all trying to set me up.
See, this is the problem. See, this is the problem. She just asked for what she wanted. God just delivered, and look at
right. He is not bad looking at all. Ain't nobody gonna touch you up in that way.
Ain't even touched the blessing.
I just sent it to you, Nate.
Oh snap! Let me. Oh Lord! Oh my goodness!
He's not bad looking, is he?
Let me see. Let me look at him.
He's not bad looking, is he?
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Ain't nobody gonna hook you up with no Ugg mug.
Tell him don't take the picture from that angle the next time.
I know. I said that. That's the only picture that was on there, though.
Yeah, hold it up. Okay. Well, you gonna find some enjoyment.
He not bad looking.
You gonna have some enjoyment.
You'll be okay. Don't be scared. We got you.
Where you from? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, okay. I'm looking at credentials. All right, I just clicked on it. All right. Y'all can do some role playing. All right.
He said y'all can do some role play.
All right. He went to a rough school, so he got a
little hood side to him. He got a little hood side to him. He got a little hood side.
Oh, he went to two hood schools. Okay.
He was actually a friend of Randy's. He was a friend of Randy's. No, I'm not talking about E. No, I'm not talking about E.
I know you're not talking about E, but automatically no. Any friend
I
of
wouldn't
Randy's,
hook you up with
Don't give her too much. Ooh, okay.
I don't know all of his friends.
He got a squad. Look at the squad.
Oh, he has children.
I'm looking at his face.
He has kids.
Come on now, you can't. You asking for too much now.
Do he have kids?
You got a kid.
Standards.
No, baby, I have one child and he's 20. Don't.
And maybe his is 20.
No.
Now
I don't.
He got a pension. He get hazard pay.
I didn't see your previous prospects. No, we gonna help you do better.
He wear a uniform.
I have seen your previous prospects. No, we're gonna have you do that.
He wear a uniform. He can lift you over his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I think he might be into that kind of stuff too. I don't know.
She lied now.
We're not gonna get on me. We're not gonna do me. What we're not gonna do is me. We're not gonna do me.
No, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm saying it for the good. As your friend, I want to find somebody that is appropriate for you. Somebody that is going to.
I'm fine with being single.
Happy.
He's not on social media like that.
I didn't say you need a man, but you can have fun.
It looked like he'd be on social media like once a month.
Yeah, see, you ain't got to worry about him being on there trying to outdo you, all in the cameras, dancing.
All in the videos, dancing.
Let me see who our mutual friends are. Then that's gonna tell a story. Oh, see, no questionable friends.
Oh God! He said, "Let me see who our mutual friends is."
Sometimes you gotta look at y'all mutual friends, and that'll tell you some stuff.
That's gonna tell a story. I don't like nothing about.
He's friend. Well, I actually know somebody you know. Okay, I can ask some questions for you on the sleep step.
Crazy. Yeah,
wait till you see the uniform though.
I don't know if she coming. I got to see if she's coming up there for the play. I did tell her about it. I don't know if she'll be there. My mom?
I hope not, Angel.
You don't want to see my mother?
I do want to see her.
Let me give her your number. Let me give her your number since you say you don't want to see my mom.
I do want to see her. I miss her.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her in months. Y'all get off the show.
Okay, I mean, y'all did good. Okay, y'all did. Your mama found this person?
Yeah, she knows him.
Yeah, he gonna put you over his shoulder.
But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This was a really great show.
Wait a minute, she said he likes spoiling
his women.
Look at her.
He does.
She happy now. Look at her.
He really does. Honestly, he really does.
You've seen him before.
Have I seen you?
I've seen no, not Charlie.
No, not Charlie.
And he's not old.
He's not.
You've seen him before.
Is he my
he's around your age.
He actually like taking his women on trips. He really does. He actually like taking them on trips and everything like that.
Y'all giving her good advice.
That's what friends are for, Ty. That's what friends are for.
We might have a matchmaker. We might have a matchmaker.
Immediately no.
Because all these people like her. If I like somebody, that means you should.
Right.
And I'm looking at FICA
scores. That does not equate to that.
It does, because I don't typically like people.
He don't.
And I don't
That
like
is
a lot
true.
of people. Very small circle.
He usually he does not like people. That is true.
And won't
It's
be
not a
ashamed to show.
dislike type of thing, but it's just,
He
not
won't be will
worthy. But you
not
all
be
had a
ashamed
really great show.
to say
He won't what
he
me care. He
did.
won't what care.
I say he is not afraid to show the shade. He is not afraid to bring the shade out for people he don't
You
like.
shouldn't. You
But he's
shouldn't.
not.
You
He's
shouldn't.
not.
You shouldn't.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a great show
I
today.
don't
I
know
had
how
an
the show
awesome
turned
time
left. I don't know
as
how it ended up being a matchmaker for
usual.
Crystal. I don't know how it
We
ended up being a matchmaker for BlackRoses, but
guys
this show just went
stay
left.
tuned, and I will give you an
We
update.
gotta
I
get
promise
you
she
on
gonna
the
have. I promise she gonna have a smile on her face when she come back after this blind date. She gonna have a smile on her face. She gonna come back like they was right, all in the cameras, dancing. But thank you. But
Okay.
if you guys want to become
Okay,
sponsors,
for Nate, what are you doing?
if you guys want to become sponsors, if you guys want to be guests
Invite him
on
on
the
the show
show,
before he come on here, though. Invite him
no,
on the show before I do a blind date.
no,
Yeah,
because
invite him on the
no.
show.
We can bring
before
him
a blind
next
date.
Friday.
Exactly.
Have him log right in.
We have him
No.
like right in.
We can
We
take
have
everybody
other
off the screen. We can take everybody off the screen and just watch the love happen.
we have other plans for you. Don't
Wait,
worry
Tell him
take
about it.
come
him
in
off
his
the screen.
uniform.
No, take him off the screen and just like let me hear his voice, see what he got to say, see what his mind is. Because I'm like,
What is you gotta ask him?
game.
We can do that. We can do that.
What you gotta
Wait
ask
a minute.
him?
Pause. Where have I seen him from before? Just answer me that question.
Nope.
Where have I
Nope.
seen him from
I
before?
was going to say that. I won't go tell her that anyway, because then
That's
she's
too
too
much.
nosy. She like a private eye.
I can bring him
figure it out.
on the same way I'm talking.
No.
You won't even see him.
Listen, the thing
She'll
is,
figure it out. She a private eye.
We
I
can
have
vote
been-
and everything. We'll take
her
a
mother
vote and
has thrown
everything.
a lot of parties. Her mother has thrown a lot of parties. I've been to everything her mother has given. So where have I seen them? Just tell me one event I've seen them at.
You
All
might
the
have been
Just give me
drunk that
one.
day.
Just
You
give me
never
one.
know.
All the parties.
Never.
All the parties.
Give me one in particular,
I
girl.
just gave you. He been to all the parties.
All of them.
Just give me one. Just give me
All
one
of
in
them.
particular.
She said
Just
all
one
of them.
party.
How can I say one if he's been to all the parties?
But why is she so
Just give me
curious
one,
now,
though.
Kay?
Just
Right
give
in
me
the same circle.
Why is she
okay.
so curious now?
Okay, let's see.
I can't remember. Okay.
Was he at game night?
No. It was only one person at game night. That was E. Why? I told you it wasn't E.
No. I thought it was more people came to game night.
No, it was just E.
Okay. Let me think of another part.
She's so curious, Kay.
This show is over with. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to become a sponsor,
Your birthday party when Angie
Oh,
was on
maybe.